Go ahead and bring him on up. Welcome to No Fugazee podcast, man. Where you from?
Hey, what's going on, man? Can you hear me okay? Audio
I
okay?
can I can hear you good, man.
Yeah, I'm in Georgia. I'm in the GA.
Okay. You in Georgia? All right, man. And are you a supporter or you a hater? You have a point of contention with my content.
I don't have a point of contention, but I will say I'm a supporter of Harris.
Okay. You are a supporter of Harris. All right,
Yeah.
cool. Do you watch my podcast at all or no?
I try to look at some of the content. I know I agree with a lot of your take on like the role of men and women in traditional relationships. I rock with you just about 100% on all of that. But
Okay.
as far as the politics of it, I'm on the other side of the aisle.
Got you. All right. So I'm gonna go ahead and you know what? I got a clip for you. I'm gonna go ahead and play this other clip here, and I want your take on it, okay? And then after you give me your take on this clip, I'll go ahead and we'll talk a little bit between, you're a black man and you're on Harris' side. So we want to know why someone like yourself is voting for Kamala Harris over Trump.
Person has mommy issues, or they're just trying to be accepted by other women. And I heard the scientists say the other day that when a man votes for a woman, he actually transitions into a woman.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, that's what the science says.
Science says that.
Is either childish, that person has mommy issues, or they're just trying to be accepted by other women. And I heard the scientists say the other day that when a man votes for a woman, he actually transitions into a woman.
So that was a Fox News host, and he pretty much said, hey, I heard when a man votes for a woman, it's for a few reasons. Either he has mommy issues, he was raised by a single mother, or when he does vote for a woman, he actually transitions into a woman. What's your thoughts on that? You're a man, you're going to be voting for Harris. What's your take on that?
I think that the question on its surface is completely disingenuous and ridiculous.
Okay, explain.
A little bit about me. I was raised in a two-parent household. Parents have been married almost 40 years, college educated, gainfully employed. So none of the things that he said in that clip, which lacks context, is not relevant to me at all. I think the framing of that clip without the complete context is a bit disingenuous. And that's my take on, that's my take on that.
Okay. So you said that you, as far as, dating and relationship aspects, you agree with me when it comes to, a nuclear family. Yeah, a nuclear family is the backbone of society, and that's what's good. I would say that, and it's kind of like a known factor if we have to separate blue versus red. Blue is anti-natalist. Red is pro-natalist. So do you know what anti-natalism is?
No, tell me.
Okay, so anti-natalism is the ideology of someone that they want to disencourage people to have babies, right? That's anti-natalist. Mm-hmm. They want to disencourage people to have babies, families to have babies, right?
Sure.
The pro-natalists, they encourage families in society to have babies. So just a quick question for you. Someone that wants to encourage people to have babies, would you say that that's a good thing?
I follow. I'm not really sure about the framing of that question because I'm more of a moderate leaning liberal, if we're gonna go with the labels. So I subscribe to a person's right to choose. In the context of your question, though, I think that having babies is good because it helps to, further the species. In that context.
So let me
go ahead.
Let me get a clear answer.
Sure.
Pronatalists want to encourage people to have babies.
Yes.
So if you meet someone, on the street or just a random person in general, and they're, pro-family, they're encouraging, you know what? Yeah, you seem like a good couple, go ahead and have some kids. Kids is a good thing. They want to encourage families and people to have kids. Would you say that that's a good thing?
It's a good thing. Yeah,
It's a good thing.
I have a 9-year-old, so she could be a little bit crazy, but
Yeah.
for the
But you
most
would
part,
say it's a
yeah,
good thing. Got it,
absolutely.
right? Now, let's say the people, right, the anti-natalists, they discourage people to have babies, right? Anti-natalism, they want to discourage people to have babies. The mindset, right, their belief, they think that the world is overpopulated, right, which is incorrect. The mindset of the pronatalists, they don't think that the world is overpopulated at all, which is correct. The world isn't overpopulated. Same question. I'm going to frame it the same way. I just want to know if it's good or bad. Antinatalism, people that want to discourage people to have babies. Do you think that that's a bad thing or a good thing?
I think it's bad.
Okay, you think it's bad. All right. So if you are pro-nuclear family and you are pro-natalism, why would you vote for a party, right, that is anti-natalism?
Because I don't believe that the party is anti-natalism. I think that
Got it.
I think that the way you frame that, you're trying to put it in a box in a corner. I think that that's a misrepresentation of the right to choose.
Okay.
A person who has the right to choose can choose to be natalist or anti-natalist, as you just framed it. So me being on the anti-natalist side, I am not prohibiting anybody to follow that same logic that you just made. A person has that right to choose. In the context of what's best for society, natalism would be beneficial for society as far as growth, keeping the population where it needs to be in the context of the way you just explained it. But I think that you are lacking the nuance of the question. I am a centrist leaning Harris supporter. So on a personal level, I don't personally subscribe to, the A word or any of those other words that we can't use, trying to respect the TOS and stuff like that.
Okay.
However, at the same time, I think that there is more nuance to there's more nuance to the conversation than you're allowing at this time.
Okay. Well, we could get into the nuance a little bit. That's totally fine. Got another question for you. Well, not a question. Let's just see if you agree with this. Republicans, they are not really for abortion. They are not really for all the contraceptives that's out there, birth control and all of these things. They're, to an extent, for it, but they have limitations on it. But they want to put more regulations on it, meaning that they don't want to encourage it. They want to kind of disencourage the contraceptives, because what they do want to encourage is family. You would agree with that's kind of like the gist of the Republican side, right?
On a macro level, absolutely.
For sure. Yeah. On the left side, pretty much everyone is for abortion on the left. Everyone. They sometimes disagree with the month's term on when that term should happen. Then they're fully pro, Plan B. They're fully pro birth control and everything else. They want all of that. So they want to kind of do their best to disencourage people to have babies. Kind of agree with that on a micro level or macro level? You don't agree with that. Got it. So what don't you agree with on that take then?
I think everything you said is a misrepresentation of the position of the left.
Sure, explain it to me.
Fundamentally, it's surrounded by a person's right to choose. The reason why I oppose directly against what you say is because it is an infringement against the personal liberty of the individual. In the Constitution, it talks about life, health, and the pursuit of happiness. The Republican side is more and more infringing on the personal liberties of the individual. I do not believe that anyone has the right to tell a woman what to do with her body, in the same way that no one had the right to house us as slaves or anything like that. You're in, well, not you, not me. This is the 2020s, but back in the day, they infringed on our liberties. They called it chattel slavery. And in the same way, that's the foundation of progression. The progression of a person has the right to choose, even though, let me be clear, on a micro level, I don't subscribe to those things.
So now let's get down to your epistemology, because I want to know your understanding of how your mind works, okay? So you said choice. You want people to have choice over anything, and that's what you want to prioritize is choice. Having freedom is not by giving people choice. If you give people choice to do whatever they want, that's not freedom. That's chaos. Freedom is actually putting boundaries and guidelines on things so people don't have choice to do whatever they want. Let's just test your logic real quick.
Sure.
Are you okay with, people having a choice to murder other people?
I think that's a disingenuous framing. The Declaration of Independence calls for life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness by the individual.
Let's answer that question, though.
I answered it.
This is the test of logic, right? Generally, we're not even speaking about. This is just generally.
I'm answering.
Life, liberty, and freedom. I got you. So
wait, hold on. Respectfully, because this is your podcast, and I'm 100% gonna respect you and your platform. The Declaration of Independence, life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. We operate in a democracy. And in that democracy, the issues are legislated through laws being passed. That's the entire.
Got it. Yeah, you're going around the question. All right, so that's totally fine. We'll get back to that question in a second. I got another question for you. Do you think that rights is a man-made thing or rights comes from God? Let me get your thought on that.
I think that it comes from God.
So then your epistemology, is it Christian belief? Is it Catholic? What is it? Islam?
I'm a Christian. Go ahead.
You're a Christian.
Yeah.
All right, cool. So just as rights is given, rights can be taken away, right?
Absolutely.
So yes. Rights is a social construct. We don't really have rights. Men enforce rights. Yes, women can they say they can go ahead and vote and say, okay, yeah, I want this done and I want that done. But if men don't enforce the rights, then no one would have rights because they'll need someone like me and you to go ahead and enforce the rights. I mean that if you don't abide by these laws, then men is going to come in and either take those rights from you and give those rights to you. So when you're speaking about, people don't have the right to infringe on other people's liberties, well, that's not the case. People have every right to infringe on people's liberties, and who's going to stop them? Now you say you want people to have choice, and you're saying, well, no, I just want people to have choice, but okay, choice of what? There needs to be some order on the choice, and that would create freedom. If there isn't any order on the choice, it creates chaos. So back to my original question to you. Do you believe, this is the test your logic, just answer the question very direct. Do you think people should have the right to murder someone?
No.
Okay, got it. Many women are taking the initiative to murder people. Now, I'm speaking out of abortion, right?
Yeah.
We can get into what is it considered murder? Is the baby fully born? Is it not? They are still unaliving something.
First thing to that, two things can happen at once. While I do agree that the A word, just call it a habit, is bad, I do also agree to the separation of church and state that is talked about in the U.S. Constitution.
Okay, so you're a secularist.
No, I'm not.
Well, if you agree with the separation between church and state, I mean,
I agree with the separation of church and state. Let's not do the labels. Let's just talk about the argument.
That's the definition. Look at this.
While you're looking. Okay,
so ahead. Secularism is the principle of is literally the principle of separation of state and religion institutions. So you are a secularist. So me calling you a secularist is not a derogatory term. I'm calling you what you are, bro.
Sir, if I may, by that definition, I will concede that point. Under the definition, I am a secularist. I don't have a problem with that. In debate,
for sure.
Either you win the argument or you learn in the process. So I'm not your enemy here.
So a question for you. I mean, all right, so it's like a few things aren't really lining up. Like you don't really stand for anything. So it's like nothing is solid. Here's what I'll say, and here's my question, right?
With all due respect, I stand for the U.S. Constitution.
I'll prove to you how you don't stand for anything.
I stand for. I think it's disingenuous for you to try to label me. Just state your position and don't try to label me. Don't try to put me in a box.
Listen, man. Listen.
Just make your argument.
Listen, man. Don't cut me off. I was speaking. I let you go, and I didn't cut you off. Right. I said, I'll prove to you. You could disprove it. I'll give you a chance to state your point after what I say.
I've been doing that. Go ahead.
Okay, fair enough. I'll prove to you how you don't stand for anything and how your ideologies and your perspectives is flawed and your logic is flawed. Let me ask you another question to test your logic, right? So you are pro-natalism, not anti-natalism. You think that it's a good thing for people to encourage other people to have babies, right? So question for you. If you have, real quick, I just want to know a little bit about you real quick. You have a daughter. You're married?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay, cool. So you live in a nuclear family yourself?
Right over there.
Right over there.
Right.
That's dope. Okay. So would you say that you have a good thing going for yourself? Absolutely. Good. And I'm happy for you. So since you have a good thing going for yourself, would you encourage other people how to get good things going for themselves?
I would encourage people to find out what gives them happiness for themselves.
Got it. Fair enough. Now, what if people get happiness through smoking weed and getting drunk until they pass out? Would you stand up for what you believe in and discourage that behavior? Like, where do you draw the line on your morals?
Where do I draw the line on my morals in my household and the way that I vote. I'm not going to go across the street to my neighbor who is smoking weed in the sanctity of his household and discourage that.
No one said that, right? I'm just saying that
I was using your example. I gave a practical example.
Well, you said going over to someone's house, right?
You said discourage the smoking of the weed and the alcohol. Now, the smoking of the weed is illegal, but the alcohol is not. So
Got it. Now, here's my question. Maybe, you don't want to get into anyone's business. Hey, let them do them. I'll do me. I feel you on that. Understandable.
Right.
Another question. Do you think that you have your way of life and it's a nuclear family? It's pretty, you would say that it's conservative?
Yes. I have no problem with that.
Got it, right? So once again, I'm trying to prove to you that you don't stand for anything. So let's just walk through it. And then I'll give you a chance to respond.
Sure,
go ahead. You just said that you got your way of life and it's a good thing, but you won't discourage other people that's doing degenerate and hedonistic things. Now, here's my question. Do you think that your daughter, as she gets older, with those people doing degenerate things, do you think that the things that other people are doing around you would influence your daughter?
I think that exposure to those things could potentially influence her. Absolutely.
Okay, got it. Let's stop there, right? So if you stand for something, right? Because I would say that influence is the most powerful force. Influence creates thinking and thinking creates behavior.
Sure.
So as a man that stands for something and things, right from wrong. You know, there are good things, there are bad things. We agreed with a multitude of things, right? There's a few things that we don't agree on. So my question for you, why wouldn't you want to block your daughter, the one that you love, from bad influences? And you know that, bro, you could be the best father you could be and raise your daughter right. And I'm sure that will happen. But you know, you just admitted that it's a probability that she will be influenced by outside forces via the community of people doing hedonistic and degenerate things, via social media of people doing hedonistic and degenerate things. Like we just played the clip where Megan Thee Stallion was twerking at Kamala Harris' rally. You know that she would see these things and be around these things, and these things will influence her thinking and also influence her behavior. Right. So my question for you is, why wouldn't you as a father stand 10 toes down to block out all negative influence that can penetrate your daughter's thinking and her behaviors?
You ready for me to answer?
Please answer.
You said that spirited, I'll give you that. Here's the answer. Here's my answer to your question. There is nothing that you can do. There is nothing that you can do, nor the Republican right-leaning party that can be done.
You just said voting, bro. You can vote for the party that wants to discourage people to do hedonistic and degenerate things.
Now what you just...
Gotcha, bitch!
It's a contradiction, buddy.
Sir, I haven't even... You're calling out contradictions, and I didn't complete my thought. You have no idea what I was going to say.
Well, you just stated something, but I'll let you complete your thought. Go ahead.
Thank you.
Go ahead and complete it, for sure.
If I may. What you just did was you just omitted the greatest influence of them all, which is the influence of her two parents who are together in the household. Furthermore, all of those degenerate things that you just talked about in society, I was exposed to those same stimuluses and the same things in society, and I chose not to partake in those things because of my two parents who have been married for 40 years. So I rebuke the power of outside, because the power of outside has nothing to do with the power in this household. We will teach her what she needs to know. Furthermore, I'll point out a contradiction that I kind of feel like you're doing right now. As her father, I've got to put her on game to the things that are out there in the streets. If she doesn't see it, if I'm blocking it, she won't know what to look for. The problem with people with your line of thinking is that you are diminishing the power of a two-parent household. We will teach her exactly what she needs to know. The only thing you can do is you can give her the game. What she chooses to do after she leaves, that's on her. But for you to just completely dismiss the influence of two upstanding, gainfully employed Christian parents who are going to teach her right from wrong, the fact of the matter is the things that you guys are doing, trying to block it, you're not stopping the influence in the first place. My daughter will be fine. She's got a mother.
Okay, cool. So there's a few things that you said there that, I mean, it was just all off, but we'll take it point by point. And this is how we're going to do it this time. We're going to allow this space, because I got a lot of people in here that we need to get up. This part of the conversation, I'm going to allow you to, at certain points, you can cut me off. And at certain points you can cut me off, but it has to be clean and concise, the conversation. Because both of us going on for long rants and then responding, that's cool, but I got so many people to get up, so we got to make it quick. Fine? Cool. All right. Here's what I'm trying to tell you that you don't stand for anything. You want to rebuke the things outside, right? So it won't influence her and then change her thinking and her behavior. You spoke out that side of your cheek. The other side of your cheek, you just admitted that, well, if she happens to choose the things that she wants, then that's on her. As a parent, a man, we stand for things. So not only do we want our household to be fine and to live a good life, like you just admitted, you said you have a good life, a nuclear family. We will want our neighbors. We would encourage our neighbors to have a good life and a good family too. Because if it's good for us, like morally good, you said you're a Christian, you'll want to then encourage people to do morally good things too, instead of turning a blind eye to it. That's what you're pretty much doing. You've admitted it before. Whatever they're doing over there at their house, that's not my right to go over there and get into their business. I'm going to do what I'm doing. As any man, right? Any man that stands for something, well, okay, I'm standing over here, but if this can influence my daughter in my neighborhood over there, then I'm not for that. I'm going to do my best to disencourage that and encourage the things that I have over here that's good. Your ideology and your way of thinking is saying, let people do whatever they want to do over there, and I'm going to do over here. That is not Christian values. You have a very tolerant mindset. Christian beliefs are intolerant. We're not tolerant of hedonistic and degenerate behavior. Drug dealers, people smoking, girls on a stripper pole. We are intolerant of that behavior. Your mindset, you're saying that, well, guess what? Well, if they're doing stuff over there, it's not directly affecting me. Right? It's not directly affecting me, but it will indirectly affect your daughter. And you just admitted to that. And you said, you concluded your sentence with, well, if she's going to go ahead, she could choose to do whatever she wants to do. That's pretty much what you said, bro. So you don't stand for anything. You have no backbone. No backbone. Go ahead. State your points and then we'll get someone else in here.
Okay. We fundamentally disagree on the issues. The United States is not a Christian nation. I subscribe to the Declaration of Independence.
But you're a Christian.
Again, now you just gave a complete diatribe. Every time I try to get a word out, you're going to interrupt me. I get it.
I already said after I go, we gonna get it back and forth.
I get that's your I get that it's your platform, but you're kind of moving in bad faith at this point.
No, I've already literally just said that. We're gonna go back and forth now, buddy, and you agreed to it.
I would be talking. I could be giving my point, but you keep cutting me off.
Got it. You're a Christian.
Separation of church and state. That's the reason why it was instituted for people like you. Separation of church and state. You can, the two things can exist, and
it can exist. What are you talking about?
Furthermore,
it's not even existing now.
Furthermore, you're talking about all these Christian values, but you're representing Donald Trump. So do you represent the sex abuse that he's doing, the lying, the complete lack of ethics? This man almost owes almost $1 billion. The $5 million that
hey, buddy, that's fake news.
The $5 million.
Listen, buddy, that's fake news.
E. Jean Carroll. You can't tell me
why the fuck you lying.
That's fake news.
Oh my God! Stop fucking.
Do you see this?
I'm just saying it's fake news.
Do you see this?
You really think that a billionaire is out there doing things?
You just gave a 5-minute, sir. You just gave.
You think that?
The gaslighting is great. You just gave a 5-minute diatribe talking about Christian.
I don't think you even heard me. Hey, chat.
Yeah. Sir. At this point, you're moving in bad faith. It's okay.
No one's moving in bad faith. I told you this part of the conversation will be back and forth.
You're talking about 34 felonies, $5 million, $400 million.
Yeah.
So when he said he was E. Jean Carroll, that's a lie. When he settled in 1974 for housing discrimination against African Americans, that's a lie too, huh? That's a lie.
Listen, man.
You're ridiculous, bro.
Listen.
Like,
fake news, bro.
Listen.
It's fake news. No one believes those things, bro.
Here's my olive branch to you.
No one believes those things. I got a question for you, though, bro. So look, this is what we're going to do.
At this point, you're moving in bad faith.
No one's moving in bad faith. I already told you. Okay. All right, so I'm going to mute you real quick. So look, you're muted, right? So here's what we're going to do. You could go ahead and close the stream. I was going to bring you back on. I'm going to unmute you if you want to stay, but you just speaking over me, right? So I told you, and the chat knows, I said that, listen, after I go, we are literally going to go back and forth, meaning that you make your point and I'm going to go ahead and butt in. But when I make a point, you could butt in too. We're going to have the conversation back and forth, right? In good faith, right? And I don't think you understand. So I'll go ahead and unmute you because those are the rules. Right now, we can go back and forth, bro. So like, if I'm speaking real quick, let me just break it down to you. You know, when you said you were saying something about Christians or whatever, and I was like, well, you're Christian and you got all like, you got your panties in a bunch and you're like, well, you know, you just told me that it's in bad faith, all of that stuff. Just answer the question or reply to it or keep saying what you were saying. Same thing with me. If I'm speaking and you go ahead and cut me off to say, well, Cooley, that sounds like a contradiction, or Cooley, I don't understand that. Then I'll be like, okay, cool. Well, what don't you understand? Okay, go. So it'll be a back and forth convo, bro. You got it? I'm going to unmute you and I'll let you go and finish what you was going to say. Okay? Let's get it. For sure. Go ahead.
He is. But
you're unmuted. Go ahead, man.
Yeah, I saw you unmuted. I got it.
Cool.
You're talking about all these Christian ethics representing the devil. The evidence is clear, and all you have is fake news.
Got it. So we both know, real quick, we both just agreed on something. We know that the anti-natalists is bad. Those are of the devil. People that want to discourage the nuclear family, what you have a beautiful thing. Kudos to you. There's no hate here. This is just me having a debate, bro. It's fine. You have a beautiful thing. And you're not an anti-natalist, right? You are a pro-natalist. So that is good. That is of the devil. Now, we know that you could talk about Trump things, and let's just say I grant you everything, all the things that you said.
You're
let's just say
granting anything. It's a fact, but keep going.
Got it. Let's just say I grant it all to you, and I believe it. Right? Everything you just said, I believe it, and we all believe it. That all those things that Trump did, I got it.
Go ahead.
I got it. Everything that Trump said, that you just said, everything that Trump did, that you just said, was actually facts. His policies and what he stands for is still better, it's still morally better than the policies that Kamala Harris stands for. So we can speak about the person, right? Because I could rip Kamala Harris all day if I wanted to, right? Shouldn't a woman be, leading the best country in the United States? That sounds, of course, 100. Life is sexist. Girls get into the club for free. I'm very sexist because my chick, she don't got to pay for any bills. I pay for all the bills. I'm sure you're sexist too. Does your wife pay all the bills, or do you pay all the bills? Or y'all 50-50?
Move the conversation.
Wait, are y'all 50-50, or who pays all the bills?
Move the conversation along.
Answer the question.
Move it along.
You're not gonna answer the question?
Not about my household. Move it along.
Well, we were speaking about your household, and I gave you kudos to it. What's wrong with it now?
What's wrong with it now is that I choose.
Sure.
I choose the parameters of what we talk about,
or what you want to disclose. Totally fine. You don't want to disclose anything else. That's totally fine. But yeah, life is sexist, buddy. That's pretty much what I wanted to tell you. So the fact that I totally agree with the guy from the Fox News in his statement of what he said, of him saying that, any man in his right mind that's voting for a woman to be a president, you pretty much a woman, dog. Mentally, not physically, mentally, pretty much a woman up there. And your beliefs and your ideologies, meaning that you don't stand for anything.
Ad hominem. You are.
I mean, we were saying that
ad hominem.
I was ad hominem you the entire time.
Ad hominem. What's that? I haven't said a single thing.
I started off with an ad hominem, bro.
I hadn't said a single thing about you the entire time.
Totally fine, but you can.
I don't want to, because I can just stand on my position.
The position is weak too.
You are not the one who makes that determination. You can go.
Chat. That's what chat is saying in here anyway. But listen, man. Good talk.
Who's the chat? Like who are they?
Got it.
And who are they?
Totally fine.
We don't care.
Yo, good talk. All in good faith. Now, I want to tell you this. Complex one. I don't got your real name. What's your full name?
Complex one. We'll leave it there.
Okay, let's leave it there. You don't want to disclose your full name. Totally fine. But I'll give you this, bro. You came on brave. You stated your points. I'll give you that. You didn't back down. No. You know what? I'll actually invite you on again to do this again. I hope you actually come on again. So where we can speak in more detail, because I got so many people in here, I got to let you go. We got to get other people in. Okay?
Have a great night, man.
All right, man. Have a blessed one. All right, chat. Homie had his panties in a bunch. He got a little butt hurt right there. He didn't realize that I started off with an ad hominem, Where you came, no one cares about that. Freaking these geeks talk about, bro, you can't have an ad hominem. If we're doing a formal debate, then that's different. An actual formal debate, then it's going to be no ad hominems, and I'm going to, start off with the point that you make. We're only debating the points, and that's it. But other than that, we do it no Fugazee style. If you moving a little wild and your thinking and ideologies is a little wild, meaning that you don't stand for anything, I don't think he even, very slow mind. He said he's a Kamala Harris voter. He's going to vote for Harris. I said, okay, cool. I got a video for you.
Has mommy issues, or they're just trying to be accepted by other women. And I heard the scientists say the other day that when a man votes for a woman, he actually transitions into a woman.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, that's what the science says.
Science says that.
Look, that's literally what I played for him. Once it came, and now at the end of it, the light bulb just clicked. Bro, you're making ad hominems. No, I came in here. Once you came in, I gave you that work. That's why I played that clip. Any man that's voting for a woman, well, obviously this guy's being funny. Scientists say that you actually turn into a woman. It's funny. But yeah, it was definitely ad hominem. But in regards to the points that he's making, man, I see the chat in here going wild. Now I'm going to give my perspective on a few things too, because homie was just talking to talk a little bit. So the title of the chat, why are some black people voting for Kamala Harris, right? And I'll tell you why. Some black people are voting for a woman, and Kamala Harris, the Fox News host, the guy is, he's on the right track. Like, normally men that have mommy issues or come from a single mother household, well, they've been imprinted by their mother's worldview. So they view their mother as a strong, independent woman. So they say, well, my mom is out there getting things done, and they view it as strength. These guys usually, when they get older, they date single mothers because it's like, well, my mom is strong, independent. Well, I could date another woman that's doing it. They kind of want to save the woman. They were too young, so they couldn't save their mom. So then they date another single mom and want to save that woman. Or the way their mother views the world from an emotional standpoint, the mother imprints that onto the kid. So that boy, he grows up very emotional. You can tell the guy that I just had on a stream, he said that he was from a 2-parent household. Well, why is he like talking and like moving and pointing his fingers in very flamboyant ways? It's a very feminine way. All of his mannerisms was very feminized, which means that he could have, I'll give him the benefit of the doubt and say that, yeah, buddy, maybe you were raised with your mom and your father. You just had a weak father. Your father wasn't man enough to protect you from your mother's ways. So your mother still imprinted her ways onto you. That's why you're talking and you're speaking so flamboyantly and pointing your fingers how women would do. All right, we're going to get some more people up in here, and I got some more clips to play too. So if you like that clip and you want to watch more, click right here. But if you want to watch the full episode, click right here.